Greetings, everyone. My name is Poran, and I am a clinical counselor and clinical supervisor, a psychotherapist. And the reason I'm doing these videos is raising awareness about various aspects of psychological behaviors and applied science into our daily practice, daily life. Last session or last video I talked about self-care and the importance of self-care, integrating various domains of self-care. And I had some feedback and some questions about, okay, how can we help our children to follow the same path and do the self-care practices we are telling them? So this video is about you, if you're a parent and your grandparent or your caregiver, and you care for those children who you care for, and you see that those children are connected to the devices all day long, and they don't want to get into some physical activities or whatever activities you're trying to encourage them to. And this is my question. First of all, as a role model, as a parent, as a caregiver, as a grandparent, whoever you are caring for those children, how much of self-care practices you're actually modeling to those children? You know, this is important that our children, our next generation, they're looking up to their the adults in their environment, and also environment in terms of not only family, but also the extended families, people beyond the families, people in our communities. So children, they are looking up to who is around them, what people are doing. If you you're a parent, you're all day working, coming home, and you're in rush, giving the children food, and then do other chores and etc. And the only time you have, you're sitting on your phone. So obviously, the children are looking at you or your children, right? And this become a habit for them. I mean, the habit of not doing anything and kind of distracting themselves with the phone devices and social media that is taking everyone's time today. And that's why I'm doing this video. And it's important to recognize the fact that we as parents, we are modeling the uh, practices that we do. We cannot preach something that we do not practice. So preach something that you practice. If you are using your free time to read and write and reflect and or do some self-care practices, whether it's going out for a walk or taking a bath or kind of relaxing, taking a nap, and any other activities you do. So obviously you model that to your children, right? And then you can talk about the importance of self-care for your children, importance of taking the time to reflect on their day. I mean, and usually children, they get bored easily. They are like, I mean, especially if they have learned to be distracted only with these devices. So as soon as you try to get them to do something, they complain they are bored. And it's okay to be bored. I mean, let them be bored, and to think about what else they can do, how they can be creative in terms of entertaining themselves, entertaining the self, and doing something for their own time, and helping themselves to learn. I mean, no, in terms of caregivers, and self-care practices, look at yourself. I mean, what are you doing? If you are having in physical activities, mental activities, spiritual activities, and self-care practices, that is a very much part of daily life. Obviously, by modeling them to your children, I mean, they will follow up down the road. Don't worry. Even if right now they are not paying attention, they are distracted, they are looking at you, they are watching you. So continue doing what you can. And instead of blaming them for not managing their time well, So try to build up some activities for them. I mean, something come in common, something that you two can sit down with them. I mean, instead of saying, go do this, I mean, how much can you sit down with your children? I mean, I have taught parenting skills for years. And also in my sessions of psychotherapy, I have always heard parents complaining about their children not willing or not being inspired by anyone or not being encouraged, I mean, somehow to do anything, although or not being motivated. And I always ask the parent or caregiver, okay, what do you do to motivate your children? What do you actually try to show them in practical way in terms of taking care of themselves, doing better, and engage in activities that is important? I mean, reading, writing, drawing, using sport. I mean, what did we do back then in our time? Playing catch, playing ball, and all those things, right? So parents usually say, yeah, we are trying to motivate them any ways we can. We take them to classes here and there. But you know what? Just taking them to classes, put them in a class and go sit down in a waiting hall or salon or wherever, or spending on your own phone or being busy with your own life. This is not a good modeling, honestly. Think about it. What are you telling your children? Go learn yourself, putting them in classes, making them busy for them to feel that like they are learning something. However, children are looking at you. I mean, the need for connection, the need for attachment, the need for bonding and learning from the parent is important. Therefore, if you just doing all those things, know that you're not kind of projecting something very positive to your children. However, if you go to a park and just run with your child. I mean, do some games here and there. I mean, sit down with them on the grass and lay down or whatever you do. I mean, activities that you are part of and you participate in personally without distraction, then you're role modeling something positive to your children, right? And I hear that the motivation, okay, how do we do with motivation? I mean, I hear that all the time. Okay, my children are not motivated. Think about it. Motivation comes from action. If you're in action and we do one step after another and we are focusing on the steps and we enjoy the steps we are taking, we learn something and we feel like the world is safe around us, and every step we take, we go forward doing something, getting to some point and achieving something, then we have motivation to do even more. So be there for your children, show them that motivation comes when you take actions, when you feel good about catching a ball or doing something or running or going to hiking and being in nature and those actions. So show them that they can be motivated just by being out there, right? And but we cannot obviously give children motivation, but for ourselves not being part of it, therefore it's not working. And unfortunately, so many times I see that in our multicultural community, in my community, parents are discouraging children for going to gym or to physical activity programs in a school, especially in times of rain or when it's cold and so on, and they're complaining that, oh, my child gets cold. And we know that we don't get cold by going out in the cold. However, we get cold because of viruses being around, and our physical body is not kind of strong enough or things like that. So that's why we have to first understand how we are uh, communicating to our children about physical activities, about mental activities, about emotional safety, about the spiritual connections and self-care. What is that we are projecting, and what is that we are showing them? Why should we show our self-care program to our children? Because they'll learn to pick up the things that they can do also, and feel encouraged to do something for themselves. However, Any other way, we try to kind of encourage our children by not being part of their program, not being part of their plan, and discouraging them if they have activities in a school and we think that this is not going well for them, or it's cold or it's rainy, depending on what kind of environment we are living in, then our children do not get the right motivation and they lose it. They lose the battle of getting motivated by themselves because they cannot, right? Because they haven't felt that good energy after running 2 blocks or 5 blocks or whatever. And usually I see children in the school days and they are running blocks after one another. And they go back to school and being active for a whole full day, right? And what happens in depending on what kind of beliefs we have about health and disorder and illness and getting cold and things like that, then we as parents, as caregivers, as grandparents, as people who are taking care of some children, we are responsible for what we are giving them, what kind of messages we give them. Okay, today is rainy, stay home. That's okay. You don't need to go out because it's raining. Tomorrow, I'm going to push you to go out. However, now the child is like, no, if I didn't go yesterday, I don't want to go today either. So because it's more comfortable sitting with the computer and do nothing, right? So think about those actions and inactions at times. The inactions are the things that we are telling children not to do, and the actions are things that we are telling them to do, but they are not finding the best practical way of handling it, or they do not see the benefits of doing it. So therefore, our parenting style, our teaching style matters if we are talking about healthcare, self-care, and prevention, and staying healthy and kind of not young, but healthy in terms of healthy mind and young mind. Even if in our old age we need to stay young, young in our mind, right? And young in our body, of course. So this is my message. Think about what you teach and what you preach, and if you do what you preach. So think about it. Okay, take care. Self. Bye bye. Until next time. Self care. Bye bye.